talking about a clit talk, clit talk, clit talk, talking about a clit talk, clit talk, clit talk.
No one ever taught me how to deep throat. It was just a natural instinct for me.
The day that I learned that deep throating was a thing, I was like, I got it. I'm going to practice. And here we are, probably 17 years later, still amazing gag reflex, just so reliable.
I mean, my partner doesn't want me to throw up on him.
So here's what you do. If a little bit of throw up comes, you just go, and then you keep going.
Ew, no.
She's a pro. That's kinky, and my sensual shadow doesn't love the idea of throwing up. I just saw your uvula in the locker room.
Oh.
And I was like, damn, her uvula is so much bigger than mine. She must be more powerful in singing.
I was like, my mouth is small, so.
So all your sphincters in your body are connected. So if you relax your anal sphincter, you will also relax your throat. It's also true if you relax your vulva, you can relax that, and it will help relax your throat. Because we're just one big tube, if you really think about it.
With cream, I'm just
edible.
a cream-filled tube that you can eat on a Sunday. How do I become a complete seductress that everybody wants to fuck?
Improve on perfection. Got it. You're out for yourself, what you find sexy about you. Get connected to your sexuality. Don't expect that a man is who makes you sexual. Get into your desire. Turn on your sexual fire inside of yourself, because that shit is so magnetic.
You're feeling sexy. You're feeling yourself. You're feeling your desire. You're bringing that to the game. Your energy of, I got this.
It could also be like, oh, I'm a sexy kitten and I need a daddy to show me what's up, you know? But do you seduce in a dominant way, or do you seduce in a submissive way?
Ooh.
I definitely seduce in a dominant way. I go out and get what I want.
I'm so intrigued. I never even thought about seduction in a passive way. How does one do this? I was standing in the bathroom having like a total meltdown, and then I was like, what would Mama Gina do? You've heard of pussy perfume, right, Caitlin?
Oh, little pussy dabs.
Yeah, you just take your pussy juice, you put it on. That was the thing that turned me around that night.
I wonder if it works if you like do it with each other's. Do you like, you want to try my perfume on you?
Katie's face. Katie's a hell no to that, sugar, just in case you were wondering.
Since our last recording, one of our favorite past guests has become a beloved active member of our Clit Talk crew. We're lucky to have her, and her expertise as a woman who is a male sexpert is invaluable, because she's the one who helps our men get what they want. So she's here so we can pick her brain about what we can do to blow our male sexual partners' minds. Please welcome back to the studio, Caitlin V.
Oh, yeah, baby. Hey.
Thank you so much for having me back.
Yeah. Thank
Are you kidding, girlfriend? It's
Well,
on.
I love you.
It's on like Donkey
You're
Kong.
three of my favorite human beings to talk about sex with, and I literally talk about sex all day, every day with everyone. So that is about the highest compliment I can offer.
That's
That
pretty
really
awesome.
is.
Holy
shit.
I love talking
Wow.
about sex with you too, Caitlin V.
I feel so special. Wait, oh my God, Katie and Madison, you guys are like fucking twins right now.
Twinsies.
Yeah, we are.
You both were in like purple.
Oh, shit.
shit.
Rock
You guys, for those of you who can't see the video,
You can see it on our Patreon.
Get the fuck
I'm not.
You on Patreon.
I've got some red straps.
We're all wearing various shades of red and pink spaghetti and thicker straps.
But Caitlin and Madison are like purple, like both.
I mean,
purple.
Katie.
Okay,
Katie and
Katie.
Katie and Sugar.
Sugar.
And everyone's names. We all look like twins, though, including you, Lindsay. We all are the colors of Clit Talk, you guys. This is our Clit Talk logo represented through all of our sports bras.
Basically, we planned
this is
it.
not a sports bra. This is a nightie. It's a silk nightie.
Oh.
And Ryan, I'll just fucking say his name. He can deal with it. Loves them.
I really don't think he cares.
He actually doesn't care. There you go, everyone. My boyfriend's name is Ryan. Surprise,
the
surprise.
Reveal.
Anyone who follows me on Instagram already knew that. He loves these nighties because my titties fall out of them on a regular basis, and he just goes, nipple.
It happened at the
him.
beginning of our recording. You're like, oh,
It did.
nip slip.
Nip slip.
Nipple.
So we're here. Caitlin has graciously joined us. She normally is on the flip side of this conversation, really coaching men, but we are putting her areolas to the test tonight. That makes no sense. I thought you had such a unique perspective because you work with men so much. We thought, because we've asked these questions to men before, but we're like, are they giving us the politically correct answers? And we really want to know the truth. And we're like, you're in such a unique position where you can give us the real truth behind men's minds.
We'll see if I can come up with a cohesive or conscious explanation, because one of the things that I think about when I think about like seducing men and this is true also when I teach men about seducing women, is that like really such a key part of it is being authentic to yourself and your individual vibe. Like my guys mess it up the most when they are trying to play by like a pickup artist or someone else's tools, right? They're trying to like follow the script essentially. But we as women do this too, right? We don't realize the things that like really make us sexy. And then there's this other piece of like being consciously competent and unconsciously competent. You know, there's the things that we know we're good at, and then there's the things that we're just good at, or, you know, they come naturally to us and it's hard for us to explain. So yeah, I'm here to help decode the male mind.
What do men really find attractive?
This may be because all my experience, or the majority of it, is working with anxious men, but I think this is universally true, and tell me if you agree. I think they actually experience a good deal of fear.
Oh,
I think that is the predominant emotion that they bring into sex and dating. Now, that fear can come off as like arrogance and cockiness too, but it can come off as anxiety and shyness, and it can come off as awkward, bumbly weirdness. I think a lot of men are afraid of really being rejected. I think a lot of men really privately, secretly wish that women were being more assertive. I hear from men all the time that they end up dating the women who go after them because they're afraid of rejection, and so they don't really approach women. I think that they're often attracted without knowing why or how, or if it's a good fit or not. And one of the things that I'm constantly saying to my guys is they have been trained that the conventional attractiveness that we have bought into as female people, but they also have bought into big time, that they should be attracted only to people who meet this conventional beauty standard. And so when they're attracted to people who don't, they first of all reject that part of themselves because that's weird or abnormal or shameful. But even more than that, I talk to guys all the time who have this idea that they need to find a conventionally attractive partner, that is somehow important for them and to them, and almost to the degree where they actually literally, like, they're shooting themselves in the foot when it comes to their dating pool and opportunities, because they are looking for a partner based on this super subjective criteria that they may or may not actually desire themselves. And on top of that is ephemeral and fleeting and actually doesn't count for much in the long run. And this is something that I really learned from my now husband, who dated like 2 models before me. And like, which I'm not putting myself down. I'm an attractive woman. I have a lot of the conventional Western standard of beauty going for me. But in terms of just like straight up, if you were to put side by side me and his ex-girlfriend, who was a model and a hairdresser, and like conventional beauty standards would say her every single time. And the one before her also was like a go-go dancer and a model. And so when I think I have a accurate self-assessment. So I said, babe, like, you know, I've got a lot of things going for me, but like, I'm not as attractive as she is. Like, what was your thing? And you know, like if you meet my husband, if you see him, you all have seen him. He's fucking gorgeous.
He's gorgeous. Your husband is honestly gorgeous.
He's on our Instagram feed.
Yeah,
he's gorgeous, right?
He's gorgeous. He's conventionally attractive. He's got dimples. He's got perfect hair, perfect teeth, white. They just gleam. Like he's a beautiful man, and he could very much have attracted a, you know, smoke show woman, but he decided to marry me, who has substance and depth, I like to think. But anyways, that is what he said to me, was like, beauty is great and it's fleeting. It doesn't last. It will not last. It does not last. And I think a lot of men are making their decisions based off of criteria that are unimportant and don't truly that they're not even conscious of. And I think that it really fucking sucks. And this is one of the reasons that we, to bring it back, thank you for following me on this road. I I think this is why we as women actually need to be more assertive in approaching and selecting men, because they're afraid that they're going to get rejected and they have no idea what they actually want or what they actually like.
Interesting.
In women, to a degree of like depth and realness, unless they've done some of their like inner work, their personal work.
Interesting. Okay, so I'm gonna flip this on you a little bit. I love that answer. And for those of us women, because you are so tapped into the male mind, who are interested in taking on maybe the persona of being a seductress, right? What would be your best advice for a woman looking to create that persona?
I would say figure out for yourself what you find sexy about you. Get connected to your sexuality. You know, don't expect that a man is who makes you sexual or turns you on. Like, get into your, this is something I think the three of you know a whole lot about. Get into your desire. Turn on your sexual fire inside of yourself, because that shit is so magnetic.
Yeah.
So basically,
What do you think?
basically what I'm getting is
I mean, yeah.
that if you are in a place of, if you're attuned to your sexiness, to your sexy, and you're feeling sexy, you're feeling yourself, you're feeling your desire, you're bringing that to the game. You're coming to the table with a proposition, right? You have some skin in the game and you're owning it. It could look like a different thing each night of the week. It's just the energy of, I got this.
To be like, oh, I'm a sexy kitten and I need a daddy to show me what's up, you know? But in all of these cases, like, your turn on pre-exists.
Right.
Well, yes. Okay. So I have a funny, crazy story about this. So I just had my anniversary weekend with the Wizard this last weekend. We stayed at a bougie Beverly Hills hotel, which is like not like normally our vibe, but I was like, fuck it, let's do something different. And I've put on some weight since COVID, and my clothes are a little bit tighter than they have been. And I brought like 3 different outfits, and then I put on this one like silk outfit that I have. And I was like, I had a complete fucking meltdown. Like, before dinner, I was like, my makeup bag with all my essential makeup in it, I left it at home. So I was like doing my makeup with like my secondary makeup. I was feeling uncomfortable in my body. We were checked into the hotel room late. I was not turning myself on, right? Then I was like, I literally had this moment where I was like, fuck it. Okay. I'm just going to like own it. I put on the red outfit I really wanted to wear. I put my hair up in I have this little fake ponytail from Amazon that I wear this. So I was able to like do my hair fast. I did my makeup. He was like, you look beautiful. And we walked into this restaurant, and I shit you not, the minute I tapped into my turn on, he's like, do you understand that when we were walking to our table, every fucking man was looking at you? And I'm like, I know. because I got out of my own head.
Yeah.
When I'm in my own head, I'm like in a complete meltdown. But when I'm out of my head and just like, fuck yeah, I'm wearing silver heels and more dressed up than any woman in this fucking restaurant. Look at me. They do.
I love it.
And my other favorite, Mama Gina technique. You've heard of pussy perfume, right, Caitlin?
Oh, little pussy dabs.
Yeah, you just take your pussy juice, you put it on. I wore my pussy. I like, honestly, and that was the thing that turned me around that night. I was standing in the bathroom having like a total meltdown, and then I was like, what would Mama Gina do? And I was like,
Yes.
she put her pussy perfume on, and I like put my pussy perfume on, and I was like snapped out of it.
You know, I have never done that.
You should try it sometime.
I wonder if it works if you like do it with each other's. Do you like, you want to try my perfume on you? Ooh, you.
Am I? Katie's face. I'm so glad we're doing video of this episode.
That's not so far off.
She's like, hell no. Katie's a hell no to that, sugar, just in case you were wondering.
Yeah, not my
I'd
thing.
like to do a scientific experiment with
I
that.
love like playing with your like where, because you brought, we had an episode where we talked about the erotic blueprints that we have mentioned in this episode already, and we'll probably mention in other episodes that we do with you. But something I've enjoyed, Caitlin, is finding our energetic blueprints together. and where we've been matching or finding those fine lines together through. It's been really fun.
How do you seduce her, Sugar?
I mean, I know how she seduces me.
Yeah, seduction is not just a male-female thing. Like, let's talk about seduction in general.
That's a good point.
Well, I mean, Caitlin, I don't know how far, like how many details into your personal life you feel like going into, but I want to let you start off the sharing of that answer. I'll
And you
follow
guys don't
your
have to
lead.
answer it. I saw an opportunity since we're talking
No,
about
okay,
how
I
to
think
be
that's
a
a really great
sex
question because
seductress.
It's a great.
We definitely do seduce each other. We seduce friendships. We seduce job opportunities. We seduce in all kinds of settings across our life. I think that's a really interesting point. I would say that there's sort of a couple different ways of reading that. One of the ways is, do you seduce in a dominant way or do you seduce in a submissive way?
I definitely seduce in a
And it could
dominant
change.
way. Like when you said, to get jobs, to get like I go out and get what I want.
Me too. But I'm so intrigued. I never even thought about seduction in a passive way. How does one do this?
I didn't think about it in the bedroom though. Like when you just said that, like out in the world, it's like, oh yeah, I'm much more familiar with that. It's interesting. Continue.
I definitely seduce in a submissive way for sure.
How does one do that?
So the way that one seduces in a dismissive way is by putting the attention, and this is an idea that I am taking from Kasia Urbaniak, brilliant author of a book called Unbound, A Woman's Guide to Power. And she really breaks down the distinction between dominance and submission as where is your attention? So in a dominant position, your attention is out. It is on the other person. It is on their needs and the subtlest signs of their body, the way that they're breathing, like how you say this, they respond. And you're always kind of tweaking your approach in order to get a result from them or get them what they're looking for, right? And then the submissive, their attention is inward. Their attention is on their personal experience, on their physical body, on their desire. So if I'm going to seduce a waiter in a submissive way, I might be like, it would bring me so much pleasure to have another round of drinks brought out. Thank you. It's on me. My attention is inward. But if I'm going to seduce that waiter in a dominant way, I might be like, you could bring us another round of drinks. Thanks. That's a dominant, and the you and the I language is a good tell. Or, you would, or like by 10 minutes from now, I'd like to have our bill on this table. Go. That's
Interesting. So based on your description, I actually think I'm more of a submissive seductress than a dominant one.
Right. Is your desire is leading the conversation.
Yeah.
And Sugar, I really felt like you seduced me in a dominant way. So I have a really different perspective.
Oh, interesting.
When we first met, which was at the Clit Talk Valentine's Day event 2 years ago,
I can't believe it.
you were very much like, I'd love for you to come to my after party. I want to get to know you.
Sure.
Right. So I guess in both, there was a desire, but there was also this like,
Generating.
you come.
Yeah, I'm bringing you. You're coming with me, right? Let's go.
Yep.
I get
exactly. There's
I
the
can
dominant
definitely-
way.
I see how I go into both.
Your total switch.
I'll do a switcherooski on you, and it makes me think of like when you bought me shoes. You bought me a pair of shoes because that's like
She can't get over that you bought her shoes.
I know.
She's told
I
us
love being
5 million times.
That's like
I
you're
loved
like,
it. You should have seen when I gave them to her. She had a full conniption. It was amazing.
Yeah.
If I had known that I could bring you that much joy, I would have bought you shoes the day after I met you.
Oh, right.
But it wouldn't have meant as
Yeah,
much.
this
you know?
was, I mean, the ultimate sugar. This is my sugar mommy. The sugar mommy of sugar is right here, right now.
Sugar,
I know
sugar,
that
sugar
when I
mama.
was making that request, I was like, well, like, I really like those shoes. Right. And so I'll
Super
notice,
sub
like,
request. I desire.
yeah, I really desire. Or like, I'll be like, I'll notice even with my partner, I'll be like, I'm really cold.
It would bring me so much pleasure for you to wrap me up in your arms and keep me warm.
Or just like turn the AC up.
Versus, would you come over here and wrap your arms around me? And then witnessing his response and then tracking it. Because again, it's all about where your attention is. You know, because your attention can be out with, me say the example is like consoling a person. You know, if my friend's in need, my attention is out on them 100%, but I have no desire to influence them.
Right.
Because I'm just consoling them, right? But in a dominant scenario, or when I'm seducing someone, like I am hoping to influence them. And so I am using the tools of my seduction in order to move them in a direction that
I'm going to have to
predetermined,
pay
but
attention
we've decided.
to what I do. Because I feel like, I said dominant, but I feel like when you said job, I was like, oh yeah, like I go out there and get the jobs that I want. I don't know what I really do in the bedroom. I think I varies.
What do you think is your, I'm curious, like what you all think is your seduction style, or like, you know, do you have one that works on the majority of those people who you choose to seduce, whether they're male or female, or whether it's sexual or not?
I think that I am. Well, I thought that I was like aggressive, but based on your description, I'm more like feminine in my seduction, but like feminine dominant, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Oh my God. They're not gendered.
Yeah.
You know, you can be dominant and feminine.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting.
So my husband, after doing these blueprints, obviously go reference that episode. He's 50% sexual. So last night, this is fresh in my brain, what I did to seduce him was he knows that I like about 15 to 20 minutes to get myself clean. And so he waits for me. So I make him wait. And then did you say kink? And then I put on this really sexy underwear that he didn't even remember picking out, but it was all strappy. And it doesn't happen to me very often, but I looked in the mirror and I was like, oh, this kind of like hugs me weird, because I don't usually wear underwear that are crotchless and have straps all around them. So it's like there was skin coming out other places. I was like, this is weird. And I was like, no, it's hot. And then and I put on this like bra. So, and then I walked out, I turned off the lights, and I said, and I came around the corner, I was like, I'm ready for you. And he was really into it. So that's how I seduced
I feel
someone.
I'm seduced.
That's hot.
That's dominant, I guess.
Not necessarily. I think that the idea of like making him wait, it could go either direction. It's a little kinky because it's sort of taboo to make your partner wait for you, right? You obviously have some of that sensual blueprint because you like to get cleaned up and you have your ritual leading up to sex, and then putting on underwear, crotchless panties, like that's a sensual thing kind of too. It's also a taboo, kinky thing. Right? And then the I'm ready for you is sort of sexual because it's like, let's go. Direct onto boom, genitals. Like, so, you know, and I think we could talk about seduction in terms of the blueprints.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, do you seduce energetically by like sending vibes to somebody? I have done that.
I have definitely done that.
And I've had them received and been like, wow, that really. And then I felt like, did I violate your consent? Like, no, I was just letting you know I was interested. But that could be that can be a consent violation for sure. I've had people send me energetic seduction and been like, yo, stop penetrating me with your energy. Get the heck out of my space.
Well,
Stop
I mean,
penetrating with
it's
your
interesting
energy.
because like when I just had my anniversary weekend, and like I told you, I had like the whole breakdown. And then at one point we were like back on the rooftop bar, and he like asks me a question, and I was like sitting there with like a glass of champagne like this. And he wasn't looking at me, and he like looked up at me and he started laughing. He's like, oh, you're in your clit talk energy now. He's like, I love it when you're in your clit talk energy. He's like, because you're a boss.
What does that mean?
Like he loves it when I'm a boss. He loves it when I am just like owning my shit, like it turns him on. So it's like I seduce him when I'm loving myself and in my full confidence. Like that really turns him on.
Maybe I need seduction lessons from you all. What the fuck? I've been trying to get my husband to have sex with me all day. And at first I was trying, like, just kind of being suggestive and sweet and like, hey, and then I got more direct. And then I was like, okay, why are we not, like, what do I need to do to get you inside of me? Like, what is it that you need from me?
No way, girl. I constantly, when you're in a relationship, I constantly find myself being like, come on, please. And he's like, why are you touching my dick? I'm like, obviously,
why do you think?
I want to fuck you,
Right?
Yeah, this is true.
Like I find myself like cutely begging too. Like I'm like, come on, please.
The silver fox says,
And if I do it like enough, he'll fuck me.
I love it. The silver fox says, like, kindness is the way to my cock, and I'm like, God damn it, maybe tomorrow I'll be kinder. But I do. When you asked that, I was like, when am I successful with seduction with my primary partner? Let's just talk about with my husband, okay? Like, but I'm looking at like where I can seduce like other lovers and how that would look different. Like that's what I'm kind of noticing from some of the conversation. I'm like, oh, it's a little bit different for each of my lovers. So just speaking to Silver Fox, like if I'm super kind and cute and do my like little cute voice and I'm like super kind to him all day and like think of things to do for him, like clean the barbecue for him before he grills or something, like he'd be noticing that shit, you know? If I'm like
Acts of service.
But like also then the kindness of the words too. So if I say something really sweet to him, that could be like that's the keys to the cock for the, you know, it's so simple.
The keys
to the cock.
Energetic.
The keys to the cock.
The keys to the cock kingdom.
Yeah, it's so interesting.
Well, and if your partner's an energetic, then that connection and the way that they feel.
Well, I can't wait to tell you what his results came out to be this time. But I feel like he's got the energetic tide. I'm waiting till we do our sneak peek on this though. So I'm totally
we're going to do a
saving
sneak
that.
peek on this.
So one
right.
thing that came to mind to me just to answer this question is, so I do not have this issue where I'm trying to get my husband to have sex with me, but I don't have sex with him very often. I feel like my libido is lower than his. So I'm curious, if you mentioned before about filling your own cup, right? So I ask Ethan to masturbate and to find things to fill his own cup, like when I'm not interested at that time. So maybe it's just, but when he starts really not forcing, but like really eager to have sex with me, it turns me off completely. So we've worked on that a bit, but I have also recently committed to having sex 2 times per week, which before it was once a week or once every 2 weeks. So I've made lots of improvements.
And they have a baby, so we
have a toddler.
That's a lot.
That's a lot, Katie. I commend you.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, me too. That's beautiful.
It's beautiful.
And I think we could answer this question from all kinds of different frameworks. Like we were just talking about it a bit in terms of the love languages, the 5 love languages.
Yeah.
And you were talking about it in terms of like, you know, the relative eagerness of your partner or yourself to have sex with you. You know, and the tease versus the directness that we bring, you know, because you can seduce very directly. That was like my way in college. I'd be like, hey, would you like to sleep together? I would have sex with you now. Let's go. Very direct. And if someone was like a no to that, I'd be like, great, cool. Like I'm thanks for taking care of yourself. Like on to the next one. Shooting fish in a bucket. The challenge of that is that some people really like a less direct, that directness in seduction can be a huge turnoff. And so your husband's being very direct and urgent with you, sex now, please. And that's a turn off for you because you want a little bit more tease, anticipation. Most of the time we don't want what we already have, right? So he's basically like, you have me, you have me, you have me. And you're saying, no, let me desire you. Let me want you. Let me close the gap between us. That is more seductive to me.
Yeah. Cool.
Well, obviously this is a hot topic because we had a complete show outline with many questions and we just spent like 35 minutes talking about seduction. So it's obviously a hot topic. So for you clitorati out there, you know, what is your truth around seduction? We want to hear from you. What is the thing that turns you on both ways? We want to hear from both ways. What turns you on in terms of seduction and what you feel like your superpower is as a seductress. Because obviously this was an episode about seduction. And we had a very special guest. Oh, sorry, Caitlin. Did you want to add something?
Just to bring it back to,
yeah.
I think we did answer the question of what is it that men want and how do they get treated like a king, which is, you know, ultimately you being in your power, you harnessing your desire and your seductiveness is like really what they want.
Yeah.
And you letting them know that exists and being open to sharing it with them so that they don't have to guess whether or not you're into it or whether or not you want to be touched and to touch them is what men want.
Yeah.
So, problem solved.
Well, and humans, I would say humans too, right?
True.
All humans want that. So
Okay.
what do humans really want? We all just want to be seduced.
And for our seductions to be received.
Yeah,
You're
exactly.
right.
Well, thank you, Caitlin, so much for coming on and doing another incredible episode with us. It's always so much fun to just be with you. You are so well versed in and so educated in this realm, and it's always such a pleasure to have you with us. Please remind our listeners who you are in the world, the best way that they can connect with you. How can they be in touch with you? If they want to work with you, how can they get in contact with you?
Thank you. I am Caitlin, the sex and relationship coach. You will find me on YouTube publishing sex and relationship related content every single week. A lot of it is directed at men. So if you have a male partner or questions about male sexuality, definitely do check that out. Or you can find me on Instagram and TikTok for daily sex advice at Caitlin Victorious X.
Amazing, amazing. All right. Well, this is another fun episode. Thank you, ladies.
Thank you.
And with that, clitorati, we're going to see you next Tuesday. Oh,
Bye.
I'm talking about a clit talk, clit talk, clit talk. Talking about a clit talk, clit talk, clit talk. Come on, girls and boys and everyone on the gender rainbow. Bring your pussies to the show.